Hi guys, Squirrel here. Welcome back to my summer car. Oh yes, the wondrous beauty that is my summer car. Now there's been a few changes, haven't there? It's actually, since we last made the video, it's done a release and there's been some more stuff chucked out on experimental, including a lottery that you can enter every week, so you can now do the national lottery and win some money, although the odds of winning are just astronomical. And knowing the dev, probably zero. But I don't know. We'll play it anyway when we go up into town. But today, what I want to do is focus on the Flywheel, which is this thing here. Now, you may remember I said to you in the last episode, if you're going to build a new car in my summer car, just get the Flywheel. Buy the Flywheel, save up, get it before you even start building the car, because it's a real pain to change afterwards, as you're going to see. This can go slightly wrong due to my summer car physics when we try to lift the engine out. So we'll just have to do what we can to try and make it not derp on us. But yeah, I mean, basically this thing just sits right in the gearbox down there, and it's going to be a bit of a pain to get it out. I have installed an extra mod, as you may see in a minute when I start looking at bolts and things. So for example, if I just go to bolts. Sorry, my hay fever's still kicking in. Hay fever? In October? Yeah, I get like a dust allergy as well. It's annoying. Yeah, so when we look at bolts and stuff, you might see it pop up like size 7, whatever. I think if it's the right size, it doesn't say anything. I think that's how it works. I spotted it and I thought, oh, that sounds pretty handy. Some people may call it cheating, but then a lot of mods are cheating, let's face it. But I just kind of find it a drag trying to remember what size bolt goes where, so thought, you know what, we'll give it a whirl. Let's see how it goes. Right, so the battery's out. Let's think. We're going to have to pop the hose out as well. The radiator hose. Basically things that kind of attach the engine to the frame. Strictly speaking, you should remove a lot more stuff. But just the game being the way it is, we can kind of get away with some things. Basically, what we've done there is the minimum I think you need to do. So what we need to do now is get the engine hoist over here and drag it down. We need to attach this to the engine, and then what we'll do is, and this is the kind of trick that I've worked out which really helps, is you kind of lift the car up a little bit using the engine hoist, so that when you actually unbolt it from the engine frame, from the subframe, the engine will then, the car will drop and the engine will kind of sit a little bit up from the engine bay. Because what I've noticed happens if you don't do that is essentially the engine kind of can glitch inside the engine bay, and it's once it starts glitching, it's more or less game over. Right, so first thing we need to do is just line this up. Like so, and because we've got no depth perception, we'll have to keep checking it. But we should hear a little clink sound when we get it right. Let's try and get this straight. Okay, so that's not bad, so it's just a little bit down maybe. That little ding. That's what we're looking for. Now, trying to remember. Engine bay is 7 maybe? I'm guessing. No, it's a 10. You see, that's where the little mod comes in handy, eh? If you wonder what it's called like bolt sizes or something. It's on the Nexus Mods website. Let's get that in there. And get that in there. Now, if you've got this right, it should hoist the car up. There we go. Just going to do that. Just going to hoist the car up like that, just so its wheels are, well, just about off the ground. While we're doing this, let's put some music on. Hang on a minute. What did I do with my... Oh, yeah, that's another thing he added. He's added the helmet to the game. Now, reading the note, this is a bit weird. Do you remember many, many moons ago, he made it so that if you smash the window on the truck and then you drive along, then you get stung by a bumblebee, and because you're allergic, you die. Do you remember that? The dumbest thing. Like, really, actually, just the dumbest thing he ever added to the game. Well, now what he's done is he's put this helmet in so that when you're riding the moped, if you don't wear the helmet while you're riding the moped, the bumblebee will hit you in the face and kill you. However, if you smash the window on the truck now and drive along, the bumblebee doesn't hit you. Now, I don't know how this bumblebee is very selective about when it hits you in the face or not. I am glad that he got rid of this, you know, this aspect. So if I smash the window, I don't need to worry about getting hit now by a bumblebee. But equally, I can't ride this without a helmet. And if you ride this with a helmet, trust me, it's a real pain. Because it's like it covers half of your face when you put it on. I should demonstrate now. Oh, actually, I won't demonstrate now because I just pressed the wrong key. There we go. So, you know, visibility is just ridiculous. I've ridden an awful lot of miles on a motorbike, and I would never ride with a visor like this. And also, it doesn't make much sense. Like, the upper section is fine, but the lower section sits like, I don't know, it just doesn't block your vision anything like what he's got here. But the real problem comes when you get onto this thing. So you're driving the bike like that, and now you have no sense of, when you're looking at the road, you have no sense of where the handlebars are pointing. And because you can't feel it, you're just riding blind. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But there you go. Let's take the helmet off. But there's one positive. You can actually spray it. Not that I've sprayed it yet. Let's see what paint we've got over here. About a nice bright yellow. And Senna style. Brazil. So yeah, we should be able to... There you go. Nice bright yellow helmet to go with our lovely green car. Anyway, I digress. Let's crack on with the flywheel. So that's a couple of the changes added. He's also done some other bits and pieces which we'll cover in the... Oh, so yeah, when you get the helmet on, you can't actually eat or drink or smoke. Like, you're properly restricted. I think I'm trying to remember now what size the engine bay bolts are. Oh, drive shaft. Let's get that. I just remembered. Now, sometimes the drive shaft glitches. Which is this thing here. That looks like a size 6. But it's too far away. Come on. 6. There we go. Yeah, it's better to remove this. Which we can do. Oh, this is so awkward. Come on, game. Play ball. There. Can like just physically glitch inside and... Sorry about this. It's a real pain trying to get to this one. There it is. Right, so there's one here. Like that, which we need to attach, and there should be, I think, 6 on here. It's worth taking this off when you do this. You don't have to, but often the thing just glitches out, and you wish you had done. Just got to remember to put it back on at the end. Okay, so drive gear, boom. Right, so we'll put the drive gear next to the socket set. We'll put all the things that we take off over here, and then that way, hopefully, remember to put it all back on again afterwards. Right, let's see. I think it's 11. It's quite a big bolt if I remember. And there it is right there. So there's one here. And there's one here. And there's the centre one. Now this is where it can go horribly wrong. If it's going to go wrong, this is where it's going to go wrong. So hopefully the engine will pop out of the bay. When we hoist it up. There it goes. Success. Okay. So you see how the car basically dropped away and the hoist just held the engine? That's what you want. I have had this go wrong a few times and it's such a pain. Because you basically have to start again. Like once that engine's glitched in there, And you can like pull the hoist over here and the engine just stays there and it's just all messed up. Right, let's pull the engine out. Cool. Right, now we can get to work. Now normally the half shafts fall off, as they have done. So we'll leave those as well. Where's the other one? Oh, okay. Like that is it. Right, so we'll put them there for now. We'll need to undo that center bolt to put these back on. But we'll pop that on at the end when we've put everything back on. Right, for now, what we need to do is we need to get the gearbox off. Which, gearbox, hang on. Put the bolts on. Size 7. See how this mod is actually quite useful. Size 7. There should be, I think, 6 of these on here. And there's another one down the side. And the whole thing just falls off. This is why it's better to have the drive shaft removed at this point. So there should be one, I think it's that one. Which is a 10. Now if that's right, there we go, it should come away. You see why I'm saying put the flywheel on when you build the engine, because this is just annoying, right? Okay, right, now we've got to get rid of all the clutch plate stuff, pressure plates, blah blah blah. Was that a 6, he said? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wish there was a way you could just remove and catch rather than just let things drop on the floor. Kind of annoying. And there's the flywheel, which is on a 7. Okay. So that means that should go on that way, I think. And then we'll pop this back on. Okay, we're about halfway through now. So the flywheel's on. But yeah, you can see, like, you don't need to remove absolutely everything. Like, for example, the exhaust coming into the manifold. Like, you know, normally you'd need to detach that stuff. There's no way you could lift the engine out without it. But in this game you can, and then there's, like, all the wiring. But it may break some of the wiring. I think the starter motor wiring normally breaks when we do this. So we might have to fix that as well. So it's a little bit more involved. What do you want? We want the cover plate back on. And then I believe that was a 6. One of those. Still, you know, it's good to do this now and again because, frankly, when you've built your engine, you've built your car up, you kind of forget some of the details of the engine bay until you have to come back and sort it out. Right, so that's that. Let's see, let's put the gearbox back on. And we should put the 7. And also, the other thing is, the chances of you forgetting a bolt are very, very high. Because you've got to try and remember. Got to try and memorize. Okay, that's them. And then there was it a 10 down the side? It was a 10. There it is, right. So that's those on. Now we're missing the inspection cover. We've got it in here. Oh, there it is. Let's see if we can get this thing on. Maybe we have to put this on before the gearbox. That wouldn't make any sense, would it? doesn't want to go on. Maybe we have to undo. Hang on. I can't remember how the, was it 6? I can't remember how the cover goes. Maybe we just have to undo these 4, possibly. It kind of looks like it uses those bolts. Oh, there we go. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I'll put the cover on. So yeah, like the whole point of that is that you can basically put those, you know, take those 4 bolts off, pop the cover off, and you can inspect the clutch and have a look at it. And to some extent, I think you can replace it as well, because you can actually spin the clutch around. So I think you could probably just replace the clutch without taking this off, which would be a bit hacky, but I think it's possible. Right, so we're going to leave that. We'll put that on at the end. Then we'll put those back on. Then the battery, and then the wiring, and then we'll refill it. So I think we're ready to have a go at hoisting this thing back in. So first things first, let's try and roughly line it up. Now what we're after is this little thing here attaching down to the subframe down there. So that looks fairly decent. Let's lower it in. Let's see what it does. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, let's bring it forward a touch. We're after that being as close to that as possible, so it looks like it needs to go just left a little bit. Was that a 10 or an 11 that bolted onto that? I think it was an 11, wasn't it? Once we get one, it'll snap on. There we go. It's that one. That one. And center one. That's basically the engine back in position now. Because that's now bolted to the subframe. We don't need the hoist anymore, so we can just detach this. Is that really a 10? Blimey. No. Lovely. Right. Put the engine hoist back. So far, so good. I think it's with this flywheel, we have to be careful when we drive the car now, because you can rev it so quickly, you can very easily just over rev it, and there is no rev limiter. And it's most apparent when you're changing down. So if you're in the rally and you change down, you can very easily just change down too early, over rev it, and just blow everything out, like pistons fly out and stuff. It's a disaster. And definitely one to watch out for. Right, so quick drink. Sort some of these bars out. That's better. There we go. A little bit of dribble. Right. So what we can do now is we can put the half shaft back on, and then the radiator hose. So the half shaft is a 14 that we need to loosen off first. So we just loosen the center bolt out the wheel, and then that should snap back in. There it is. And the there's some more bolts we're going to have to tighten. Like the other end of the half shaft needs tightening as well. Put that in there like that. Now the other end is here, which is a size 9 according to this. There's 3 of those, 'cause it's like a triangle. The half shaft back on. Okay. Then we've got to put this drive gear back. Before we forget. A little tick box then. Scumbag. Come on, come on. Okay, let's see what we need again. Is that 7, 6? 6. So I've got that one up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's think. Right, so we've got the half shaft, we've got the drive gear back on. It's all nicely bolted in. Looking over here, we've got the battery, we've also got the hoses. Let's get the hoses back on. Try and get it remotely the right orientation. That's a pain. Because you can't actually see what you're doing, so you're kind of guessing. Essentially it wants to go into there, you see. And then it turns up. So maybe if we go like that with it. Come on. Game players. Okay, let's try this way. It's really picky. Oh my god. Okay, let's try the top one. Top radiator hose. Top radiator hose, no problem. Tell you what, let's get a bit closer. Oh, I had it then. Right, okay. Let's refill this with coolant before I forget. And I must that's on the electrical side of things. Wowzers. I have no idea how many of these are brand new and how many are used. If only they would give us a way to check the contents of a container. Like, in real life, you just open the lid, look inside, and you're like, oh, it's about half in there. This game, no idea. Now, if it's brand new, that'll fill that radiator up because I think it doesn't take more than 10 litres. So far, so good. We'll put the battery back on in a sec and see if we need to fix the electrics. Okay. Tell you what, while we're at it, let's just check the oil and stuff. Ew. That's a bit nasty. A bit nasty and a bit half full, that is. Okay, come with me. As if oil runs that quickly. Lovely job. Let's put that lid back on. Let's have a look at that now. That's a bit better. Lovely golden brown. Maybe that's what they were singing about in that song, Golden Brown. Do you remember that song? No? If you don't remember it, have a quick YouTube song, Golden Brown. I think it was from the 80s or 70s, something like that. 80s, I think. Right, now then, we need to sort out the starter motor linkage to that thing, because I can see already it's missing. So for that, we need 7. You see how the wire here is missing from the starter motor down to here, so we just need to loosen that a touch. And then we'll need to grab the wiring loom. Wiring mess, whatever it wants to call it. Let's see, so negative terminal should go down to battery, there we go. Let's put that over there in a second. Fix that while we're here. Okay, and then let's see. Size 8. Tighten from the back first. And I think we're done. Like, let's just have a quick look inside the engine bay. Okay. The steering rods are there. They'll look tight. Half shafts are in tight. Hoses are complete. So look around the other side. Okay, half shafts are in. That looks weirdly out of position, but I think it's fine. Wheel nuts are good. Gearbox looks like it's bolted in. Okay, I think stuff looks okay. I think we're ready to fire it up and see if we've still got a car. Yep, should we fire it up and just have a quick look around? So the only thing we've got left is the old flywheel. Toolbox in the back. There's nothing on the floor, so we've not forgotten anything. Let's see if the ignition fires up. Okay. A little bit of clutch. And we're neutral. Okay, well the engine starts and it didn't blow up, so that's a good start. But look how much quicker it revs now. Look at that. Okay, battery looks like it needs a bit of juice in it. Needs a bit of a run, doesn't it? Alright, so the main thing is, have we got any transmission? That will be a lot more sensitive on the clutch now. Okay. It looks like it's working okay. Which I'm reasonably happy about. Because that can go horribly wrong, that can. Temperature's just about starting to come up to normal. Mixture's looking pretty decent. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. I am fairly happy with that. Let's close that door. Maybe we'll just check the coolant levels and stuff while we're here. And then we've finished under the engine bay for a while. Let's see. 4K textures for the win, look at that. Okay, just a little top up. I wonder if at some point it'll actually separate these liquids, so you need different ones. Okay, that's not actually doing anything, so that must be full. Try the back one. There we go. Alright, that's awesome. Let's just tighten these up. So we've got fresh oil, full coolant, which is also fresh. All the liquids are done. Electrics are working. Engine seems to be purring quite nicely. And we have a new flywheel. I'm not unhappy about the way that's gone. Yeah, so, as I said at the start, do your flywheel at the beginning when you build your car, otherwise you'll have to go through all that. But if you do forget, or you didn't actually do it, at least you know how to do it now. Just be careful with the engine hoist, bring the engine out before you actually let the car drop, otherwise it will glitch into that subframe. Sadly, we've run out of time. Sorry, this was just basically a build video, but you know, it's nice to just do some mechanic stuff now and again, right? So, please give me a thumbs up if you did, and you're happy to see more My Summer Car. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Try not to die in My Summer Car.